Welcome to Table from One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be playing a solo game of Endeavor Deep Sea. Today I'm playing Mission 3, the Oceanic Journal. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am mostly set up to play a game of Endeavor Deep Sea. I am playing the third mission, the Oceanic Journal. It's been a little while since I've played this one, probably since the last video I put up. So it's been maybe 4 to 6 weeks. And so I'm probably going to be a little bit rusty. I don't know if I'm going to win on this one, but it's not for a lack of wanting to play. I just kind of had a lot going on, but I'm really excited to get back into this game. So I'm mostly set up here. I've randomized the bonus goals and the setbacks. I've shuffled up the journal. The only things that I haven't randomized are these tiles, these zone tiles here on the right, and I'll just shuffle each depth the first time I use it. And as part of setup, we need one random zone here in zone 1 at the surface. So let's shuffle these real quick and get a random one. In this level, we start with the sea star and the looking glass, which is pretty typical, and then carbonate spires as the depth 3 zone there. So we get Volcanic Island today. And put a couple of dive tokens there. All right. And as you might expect from the name, this level is all about journaling. So I know I have played this level before and I did pretty well, but I don't remember how. So let's go through just the goals here on this sheet real quick. So the goal number 1 is survey the shallows. You want 7 or more sonar discs at the first 2 depths, at depths 1 and 2. So we want to be sonaring at the top. So that's a good thing we can do at the beginning of the game to build out the map. The second goal is journal the depths, and we want 7 or more discs on journal spaces at depths 3, 4, or 5, combined 3 through 5. So after if we're working on both of these, we kind of want to sonar at the top and build out these deeper levels, and then we want to move down here and start journaling down here. And then this third goal is pretty interesting. This is what makes it pretty journal based, even more so than the second goal. This is dedicated research. So there's these 4 field symbols. These are the blue, brown, green, and yellow, if you can see the colors, just the different symbols here on the journal cards that tell you what type of journal it is, that match the different journal spaces here on the board. And for this goal, for solo, you want at least 7 of the same icon. It doesn't matter which one, but you need 7 or more of that icon. So basically at the end of the game, you flip through the journal cards that you have, you see which icon you have the most of, you count it up. But then also you may have noticed here on the impact board, there are 2 of each symbol here on this top left corner. If you have impact markers on those spaces, those count toward your 7. And a couple other interesting things to notice over here. So you can go down here, there's an infinite space again to get 2 points each time. There's a couple of spaces here that let you promote one of your specialists, so I don't think we've seen that before. That's kind of cool. And then the solo goal for points in this mission, between your impact board, your journal cards that may have points, and then any promoted specialists, tier 5 specialists that have scoring, your goal is to have 15 or more points, which is less than it was in missions 1 and 2. So that feels a little bit more easily achievable. And one thing I might want to do is these symbols here, the blue symbols on the journal cards, those are usually associated with cards that are worth point values. So I might try and get 7 of these journal cards, of these blue ones, because they'll probably all have points on them. Maybe I'll try and get these 2 spaces over here as well, but that'll make it more likely that, if I focus on getting points on my journal cards, then I'll be more likely to also achieve 15 points on this board. I don't know if it's going to play out that way, but that seems like a good idea to me. So for example, on the anchor cards, these starting journal cards, there's 1 blue one here that's worth 1 point. So that's something that I might want to go after. Now, one other thing that's new in mission 3 that's pretty interesting is you can choose any depth 1 zone as your launch zone, both at the start of the game and when you gain any new vessels later. So you choose, which arrival bonus you want. So let's get started. I think I'm actually going to start here on the Volcanic Island. And the arrival bonus is to bump your ingenuity track up 1. I don't know if it's going to work out this way, but I think to journal at these lower depths, I'd really like to see some of these zone 4 and zone 5 tiles, which I often don't. I typically spend most of the game, if not the entire game, at zones 3 and higher. But I might like to try and push that. And in order to do that, I'm going to need to push this track so I can get to these depths sooner. So let's get started with the first round. And I get to recruit a tier 1 specialist. And I'm going to recruit this one, a sonar operator. And so immediately I advance my coordination track 1. Then looking at my inspiration track, I gain 1 disc. And looking at my coordination track, I recover 1 disc. And would you look at that? I've already done something out of order. I didn't draw my bonus goal. So let's see what the first bonus goal is. It is scholarly. So leftover research, I want to have 6 or more leftover research at the end of the game. Certainly doable. I think I want to focus right now, though, on this board, especially the journaling depths 3 through 5 and focusing on the blue journals to try and get these points. When I play solo on Endeavor Deep Sea, typically I consider 4 goals achieved to be the minimum threshold for a win, and the more goals I achieve after that, the better, the better the win it is. But I need 4 to say I won, so we'll try and get at least 4. So for my first action, I'm going to activate this sonar operator and operate some sonar right here. So I can do a sonar at depths 1 or 2. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do 1 of each. So we've already shuffled depth 1. Let's shuffle depth 2 real quick. I'm just going to take 1 off the top of each stack, which is allowed. And as long as you just you can take 2 tiles from any of the zones that you're allowed to sonar with the action space you've selected. So as long as you just take 2, you can look at whichever 2 you want. So let's do this. So Orca Reintroduction or Ledge Elevator. And I really like Orca Reintroduction. This is a cool tile. It's one of the mini expansions, but it's most helpful for conserving, which is not something I'm really pursuing in this mission. But there's also not a ton going on here in Ledge Elevator. And when I look at the exploration or discovery bonuses, they both get me 1 coordination. This one gets me a reputation, whereas this one gets me another disc. And I can use that disc to move the team leader, which would be nice, or to activate the team leader to move. So I think I will take Orca Reintroduction. So Ingenuity goes up 1, that's good. And I gain 1 disc, always helpful. And I'm going to put that over here, and I'm just not planning on going over there. That's okay. I can still put more zone 2 and 3 stuff below it. And then, of course, we have to add the 5 little orca meeples, which are pretty awesome. So we'll just leave those there. Who am I kidding? That's going to bother me. Let's line them up. Make them look nice, because they'll probably be there the whole game. There we go. Now they're swimming and jumping around and having a great time. And yeah, let's go ahead and now spend this disc, I think, to move 1 time and gain another disc as the arrival bonus. Okay, so it's really just a free disc, but I might use it next round to move back and get another Ingenuity and get my second vessel. But that's it for the first round. I did manage to sonar at depths 1 or 2 1 time, so 6 more to go. So let's go to the second round. We draw the next bonus goal, and we have Resourceful, so coordination and ingenuity tracks at 22 points or more by the end of the game. So again, this space here with the ingenuity is 10 points, and then 11 and 12, and then they cycle back if you go beyond 12. So trying to get those to 22 or more. And I find that these track goals are generally pretty doable. So now we're going to recruit another tier 1 specialist. Oh, and look at this. This will be nice. I'm going to recruit this pilot. Yes, this pilot. And the immediate benefit is I gain 1 impact. And so the impact starts on any of these 3 spaces. So 2 of them are reputation, and 1 of them is ingenuity. And I'm going to take that one. Let's take that ingenuity right now. So we advance this track and gain another vessel. And we can also dive at depth 2 now. And I can pick any depth 1 zone as my launch zone, but I'm going to go here to the Sea Star and gain another disc. Okay, and now my inspiration track says to gain 1 more disc. And my coordination track says to recover 2, so I get both of these back. So I've got 5 discs to spend this round, and we're ready to start. And so I'm going to start with the sonar operator again. Here. And and we'll operate sonar in the one zone where I have any vessels. So depth 1 or 2, and I'm going to go for depth 2. I'm going to grab 2 of them. All right, and we have dolphin pods, which is a lot of conserve actions and some diving, and shipwreck, which is sonar and diving. And funny enough, they both really have the same arrival bonus, one ingenuity and one inspiration. And I'm going to take shipwreck. I don't really need all of these conserve actions. I'm not trying to conserve this game. And we're going to put this here. So this is a couple more depth 2 sonar spaces that I can use for this goal here. And just to point it out, this is an interesting sonar spot that I got some questions about, similar tile in a different playthrough. When you take a sonar action on that particular spot, you place your action disc on whoever is taking the action, whichever specialist, and then you put a disc here, and that is not revealing a new space like you normally do. That space, even though it's a sonar action, just gives you, in this case, 1 coordination and 1 research. So not every sonar space on the map actually reveals new zones, and that's okay. That could be advantageous sometimes. So here are the dive tokens. There's 8 of them here, and on this space, when you dive, you take the top 2 tokens, you look at them, choose the one you want, and discard the other. It's just out of the game. So now let's take the arrival bonus. The inspiration track goes up, and the ingenuity track goes up. That's good. Those are both good things. Let's have the pilot go next, and I can move the vessel up to 2 zones and down to depth 2 at a max. And so I'm just going to move 1 vessel down to here, and the arrival bonus is 1 inspiration. So now I'll be collecting 2 discs at the start of each turn, which is important. And now I'm going to have the team leader sonar at this space here, so depths 1 through 3. And I'm going to do depth 2 again, because I can't go to depth 3 yet. All right, we've got conservation spots there with sea turtle migration, and then this is sunken ruins, and we have a couple of sonar spots and some diving again, so similar to here. I mean, I guess thematically it makes sense for the sunken ruins to be next to the shipwreck, right? So we still don't really need sea turtle migration, even though it's a good tile in the right circumstances. I think I'd rather have sunken ruins right now. So the discovery bonus is ingenuity goes up again. So now I can move up to 3 spaces at a time and go down to depth 3. And my reputation track goes up 1, which is important. I really need to get that one moving too, so I can get some more specialists of different types and different tiers. So 4 dive tokens go here. And this bonus is when the last dive token is gone, each player who has a vessel here may move 1 vessel as a free action from that tile. I don't know that I'll really utilize that zone very much, but that's okay. So we're at the bottom of round 2. I'm out of discs. I can't take any more actions. So if we look for this first goal of having 7 sonar discs at depths 1 or 2, I've got 3 of them now, so I'm close to halfway there, and I've pushed this track enough that I can now move down to zone 3 and start journaling, which is something I've been waiting on. I kind of want some of these journals, but this goal wants me to journal at depths 3 and below, so I didn't want to waste those journal actions at depths 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and start round 3 now, and we're going to reveal the last bonus goal. This is synergistic. So zones with at least 1 disc or vessel of all players, and it says 11. So I need 11 zones at the end of the game that have at least 1 disc or my vessel in them. I have a decent start towards this goal currently because I seem to be moving around and putting a disc in a zone and then leaving, put 1 disc and leave. So I'm touching a lot of zones. So if I can do that in 11 different zones by the end of the game, then I'll achieve that goal. I'm not going to specifically work towards it, I don't think. I'm really trying to focus on these goals here on the board, but all 3 of these are certainly doable. This is a pretty good draw. So now we're going to recruit another tier 1 specialist, and this is a reef diver. Yeah, I'm going to grab the reef diver, really just to get the 1 reputation so that next time I can recruit a tier 2. But the diving action would be useful too. I'm probably going to need the research, if not the extra actions that I might be able to get that way. So now my inspiration track says I get 2 discs. And my coordination track says I can recover 2 discs. And I'm going to recover these 2 because I think I'm going to journal this time and probably promote the sonar operator to get that disc off and be able to take another action there. Or maybe not. Maybe I'll promote the pilot and then take the move action twice this round. I don't know. We'll see. So I think I'm going to start with the Reef Diver. While I'm in this zone, I may as well dive, grab a token, so we can either sonar or gain 3 research, okay? And I like that sonar, but I don't think I can use it right now. I'm going to hold on to that. So I think next I'm going to use the pilot to move, and I will go move this vessel down to here, and the arrival bonus is 1 research. And now I will have the team leader journal here at depth 3. So we put a disc on the team leader, and we're going to do this brown journal right here and gain this journal with the brown symbol. But it also has this blue symbol, which is the one I'm really going for. So that'll give me just by itself 1 point at the end of the game. This journal costs no research, so I don't have to pay anything. And then the only bonus I get right now is I can promote 1 specialist. Now the Reef Diver I'd kind of like to promote because then they can dive or journal, which would be really helpful. I intend to do more journaling, but also the pilot will give me 2 track bumps when I promote, and the Reef Diver will only give me 1. So I think I'm going to promote the pilot. So this disc goes back to the supply, does not go to the staging area. So I flip this over. Now I've got a skipper, and I gain 1 ingenuity. No, 1 inspiration. Why do I always do that? 1 inspiration and 1 coordination. So neither of those advanced. I mean, the tracks went up, but I didn't cross into the next tier on either of them, which is a little too bad. Now I've got to replace that journal. So let's grab the rest of the journal deck here. It's already shuffled, but we'll just shuffle it once more before the first time. There we go. And so grab 1 of these. All right, so there are no blue symbols left on any of these cards. So if I want to pursue that route, I'm going to have to grab a different journal to try and get some more blue ones out of this deck, because I do need 7 of those symbols as the goal. I can get 1 here. Well, I have 1 here, and I can get up to 2 more from the impact board, so I would still need to grab 4 more journals with that blue symbol on it. But it looks like that's it for round 3. So I'm still at 3 sonar actions in zones 1 and 2, 3 out of 7 for this goal. I have 1 journal action now at depths 3 through 5, so 1 out of 7 for this goal. And then I have 1 blue and 1 brown symbol. I need 7 of just 1 symbol. So we'll see if I change my strategy or change my mind partway through, but still aiming for blue right now in my head, which means I have 1 point at the moment towards this impact goal. So going into round 4, we need to draw our first setback card, and we have exhaustion. Each player returns 1 disc of their own from a conserve site of their choice to the staging area. So I haven't done any conserving, so I don't have to do anything, which is nice. I think maybe a misstep in the design of this game is so this card is in there. I don't believe there's any such card for journals or for sonar. So like you kind of want to wait on conserving if you can until you've seen this card if you're playing solo or co-op. Mission 4 is heavy on conservation, so like this card has an outsized impact on that particular mission. So not that I think this game really needs expansions, but I would certainly take more setback cards and bonus goal cards. There's just not that many, and you can kind of game them a little bit. But now we can recruit, and this is one of the more interesting and I feel like a little riskier recruits. Is this marine engineer. We'll go maybe here. So this one gives you 2 ingenuity right away, but has no action they can take. So you have to recruit them to be able to take any action. When you do recruit them, you don't gain any immediate bonus, but they have the ability to journal or move, which would both be helpful in this scenario. So now I'm 1 ingenuity away from getting my next vessel and being able to reach zone 4 and move 4 zones at a time. So this is maybe the quickest I've pushed this ingenuity track, which I am no expert at this game. I'm sure other people can push it more quickly and better, but I'm trying to make use of it best I can. I am also definitely feeling the effects on the other tracks. They're not as high as I would like. But now my inspiration track says I gain 2 discs, and my coordination track says I recover 2 discs. I think I'll definitely take 1 from my team leader, and I'm going to take 1 from the Reef Diver as well. So I have 4 discs to play with. I wish I had some more. So I think I'm going to start with the Reef Diver again. Let's dive right here. And so I can either gain 3 research or 1 disc. Those are both pretty enticing. And believe it or not, I'm going to spend this one, because I have to spend 1 right away. It's at the end of each turn. You can only carry over 1 token. I'm going to spend this one to get the 3 research. So I'm up to 4 because I'm going to need the research if I intend to keep journaling like this. So I'll just put the spent ones down here. And I hope this is a good move. We're going to journal next using the team leader on this space here. So this yellow journal space here. And I'm going to take this journal, one of these new ones. So that's going to cost me 3 research. 1, 2, 3. And now I gain an inspiration. So that gets up to the 3rd tier. And I gain an impact marker. I'm going to put it here and gain 1 reputation, even though I know if I placed it here and got the other ingenuity, I would get my 3rd vessel. But I'm going to try and do that another way. I'm trying to work these quickly down here to where I can get these 2 blue journal spaces. And it's worth pointing out, some of these spaces are worth points in themselves. So if I do just come this way, I'll have to get this brown one and then get those 2 blue. If that's all I do on this board, I'll get 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 points just from this board, which means I would only have to get 8 points from these journal cards, assuming I get no tier 5 specialist bonuses to score for this goal here. But now we can promote a specialist, and I'm going to promote the reef diver to an underwater photographer. So again, this disc goes back to the supply, but now I gain a reputation, which gets that into the tier 3 track. So I can start getting some of these specialists now. And I think that'll be helpful. So I will put this journal over here. And I've got to replace that journal. Hey, there we go. So that one has a blue symbol on it. It only costs 2 research and it's worth 4 points. So I'd really like to journal at that spot there and grab that journal. So that's good to have, but I do think I need to build out this board a little. So I'm going to spend this token now to take a sonar action, and I'm going to place that sonar disc here. So I can sonar at zones 1 or 2, and I can't do any zone 2s because they need to be beneath a zone 1. So I'm taking 2 zone 1s. I'm going to build out the map a little bit more. And we have remote anchorage and atoll. And at this moment, I love everything about remote anchorage. It gives me an ingenuity, and it gives me a disc, and it has sonar actions on it, which is good for this goal, and it has a blue journal space on it, which, I want my journals to be at zones 3 or below, but it's still good to have. So I'm going to take this. Remote anchorage goes there. Atoll goes to the bottom of this stack. And so what do I gain? Let's gain the disc first. And then gain 1 ingenuity, which gets me to tier 4, so I can move up to 4 spaces at a time, down to depth 4, and I get a new vessel. And I can launch at any surface zone, but I'm going to launch at the Sea Star. I would really like that other disc. So that's the arrival bonus. Either of these zones would have gotten me another ingenuity, which would be nice, but I've kind of pushed that as far as I need to push it at this point in the game. I think naturally it'll get up in that 5th tier. I'm not too worried about it. I can travel where I want to travel now. I don't even have any zone 4s to go to, so I need to start building that out a little bit. So I think at this point I'd rather have the disc. And I'm not really doing any conservation, so I don't need to grab one of these orcas because they're not really worth anything to me without the conserving. So I have 2 discs, and I have this underwater photographer who could journal. So in theory, I could journal here, but I've only got 1 research available, and the one that I want is going to cost 2 research. The only one that's worth 1 is this green one, so I could journal there. That would complete these links, which would get me 2 more reputation, and then I could promote a specialist, which is certainly all good stuff. But I guess my other option is I could take a dive action and a move action. So the dive, I would just gain another token, which might give me enough research to journal in the future. And then the move action I could use for some sort of arrival bonus. Or, okay, this is kind of interesting. Here's what we'll do. We will use the skipper to take a move action, and we'll move one of these vessels down to this zone. And the arrival bonus is 1 research. So I now have 2. I don't have enough discs to place a journal, but I can't afford that journal now without having to take a dive action. Although, I'm going to reverse that. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go, I was here, 1, 2, just 2. Here, I'm going to go here. So instead of getting the research, I'll take the reputation. And then, because the only other thing I can do is take a dive action, I'd rather do it there than there. So let's take a dive action here and gain 2 tokens and pick one. Ooh, and these are both really nice. I want both of them. So I can gain either 3 or 4 research. I could advance my lowest track or advance any track. So this one's better either way. So I'm going to discard this one. And now I can either hold on to it or spend it immediately. And I'd really like to advance this coordination track 1 time to get into the 3rd tier so I can get at least 3 discs back at the start of the next turn. So right now I'm only at 2, and that's pretty painful. And yeah, that's what I will do. I'm going to spend it now to advance any one track, and it will be this one, the coordination track. And so that is going to be the end of round 4. If we take a look at the goals, this sonar depths 1 and 2, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of those out of 7. And journal at depths 3 and below, I've got 2 out of 7. And then what symbol do I have the most of? Well, I've got 1 blue, 1 yellow, 1 brown. So I need 7 of a single one, but I think there may be a path to getting what I want. And I have got to stop doing this when I'm doing playthroughs. I just took another 20-minute phone call, so I totally lost my train of thought. But that was the end of the 4th round as I remember it, so we're ready to start the 5th round. So let's draw the next setback card. Apologies if I was like mid-sentence or something. I don't remember what I was talking about. Protected waters. Find the depth 3 zone that contains the most discs. If tied, choose one. So that's going to be this one. It's the only choice. It has 2 discs. This is going to hurt, I think. Oh, return all discs to the owner's staging areas. I thought it was just going to be one going to the supply. Return them all to the staging area, so at least I get them back. And set aside any vessels there. Discard the zone, replace it with the top zone from the depth 3 stack, which I have not shuffled yet. So let's shuffle the stack. I hope it's a good shuffle. And then we put the vessel on the new zone. So who knows what this is going to be. I hope, really hope it has some journal spaces, because that was a pretty good zone that I had. All right, so this one goes to the bottom now, and we won't see that again. And we have, okay, some journaling. Not a blue one, though. Not one that's going to help. Shoot, that's mostly going to hurt. And this, I do not gain an arrival bonus for that. So that kind of stinks, because I was working my way towards some of the links. Those were going to be really helpful for me. I'm not going to get the links now. I can no longer get that blue journal that I want. So I may need to do some sonaring this round to get some more depth 3 or even depth 4 zones, and hope to get some journal actions that'll be useful that way. Because I've now completely reset this goal. I went from 2 out of 7 to 0. So to even have a shot at this, I'm going to have to journal like crazy for the last couple rounds of the game. So yeah, for as much as that first setback that I got was no big deal, this second one really hurt. But now I can recruit a specialist, tier 1, 2, or 3. And I'll go to tier 3, and I will take this one, a field researcher. Let's rearrange these. I can go there. This can go here. So this person can sonar and journal with a single activation. So you get some efficiency out of the disk usage there, which is something I'm going to need. And now my inspiration track says I get 3 new discs. There we go. And my coordination track says I can recover 3 discs. So I have to leave one behind. And I'll probably leave this one on the junior specialist, because I'll still have the opportunity to promote them and activate them that way. Whereas I can't promote the others. Okay, well, at least all of a sudden I have a fair amount of discs. That's good. Oh, you know what? I'm going to... yeah, I'm going to stick with it. Never mind. So I'm going to start with the underwater photographer, and I'm going to dive. So I'll take the dive action here, so I can look at 2 and keep 1. And I've got a lot of journaling to do now. I'm going to discard this one, even though the move action would be nice. I'm going to spend this one right away for 4 research. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that puts me at 5 research. And now I will use the skipper to take a move action, and I will move that vessel down to this zone, and the arrival bonus is 1 inspiration. And now I'll activate this field researcher who can sonar and journal. So I'm going to sonar first, and I'll do that here. So I can sonar at depths 1 through 3, and I'm going to choose depth 3. So give me the top 2 off this deck. Man, neither of those has journal actions. That stinks. I'll take Deep Water Shark over Vortex, I think. So my discovery bonus is 1 inspiration and 1 ingenuity. And then I put 5 dive tokens. I'm going to place this right here. And the arrival bonus is move up on the coordination track, which is fine. But every time you dive here, you gain 1 reputation. So that's pretty helpful. So I may try and move that sub there and do the rest of my diving at that spot. But I was really looking for depth 3 and below journal actions. So this is going to be kind of rough. But that was the sonar action of this field researcher. So now I can also journal. And I'm going to journal at this spot here, this yellow one. So I'm taking this. Effective communication of ecosystemic risk. That's going to cost me 3 research. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 2 left. Still enough for that blue one up there that I want. And the immediate bonus is 2 on the inspiration track. And I can promote 1 specialist. And I will promote the sonar operator, like I thought I might. So I gain 1 coordination. And then I can move or sonar. So I'll take this and put it over here. So I've got 2 yellows now and 2 browns. Those are not the symbols I was really going for, though. And let's replace that journal. Ooh, this one's not blue either. Boy, that route is getting more and more difficult to try and achieve here. So I am pretty desperate for some better depth 3 through 5 journal zones. So I'm going to sonar again with this acoustics engineer. Right here, zones 1 through 3. So I'm going to pick zone 3 again. All right, and this one's basically all sonaring with 1 journal, so that doesn't help a ton. This one, oh man, also only 1 journal. So I guess I'll go with the jellyfish bloom, but now I'm really in trouble. I'm either going to have to get some great journaling spots at depth 4, or I'm going to have to start sonaring over here again to try and get more depth. I'm running out of actions. So for this jellyfish bloom, the discovery bonus is 2 coordination, which is good. That gets me up to tier 4 on that track. And so I'm going to use my last disc here on the team leader to take a move action. I'm going to move this down to this zone so my coordination goes up. And then if I take any dive actions in the future, I'll do that here, and it'll help boost my reputation a little bit. But I am definitely hurting at the end of this round. So let's go into round 6. That starts with drawing a setback card. And we have funding shortage. So each player chooses 1. Either reduce your lowest attribute by 2. So that would take my coordination down into tier 2. I don't love that. Or you flip a senior specialist to its junior side. So you do not gain any immediate bonuses. And if there was a disc on it, you return the disc to the supply. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to flip the skipper back over. So I'm going to lose the disc. But the reason is, going from the skipper to the pilot, you don't lose any actions. And then I have the ability to promote the pilot again and advance my inspiration and coordination tracks again later. So that's a bonus that I wouldn't mind repeating. So I don't think I ever take that top action. I prefer the bottom one quite a bit. I still don't like it, but that's my preference of those 2 options. So now I need to recruit someone at tier 3 or below. And I'm going to take this ROV operator. There's no immediate bonus, but they can move and dive as a single action. And those are both things that I'm thinking I'm going to be needing to do. So now my inspiration track is in the 4th tier. I gain 4 discs. And then my coordination track is in the 4th tier. So I recover 1, 2, 3, 4 discs, which is all that remained after that setback. So I've got 8 discs to play with, and I can get started. And so I'll start with this field researcher who can sonar and journal. So I'll sonar first here, and I can do depths 4 or above. So we're going to go to depth 4. Shuffle up this stack. And that is the 7th sonar disc at depths 1 or 2. So that's 1 goal achieved for what that's worth. Man, the other 3 all really hinged on journaling, though. And I am really in a bad spot with journaling. So sonaring at depth 4. Okay, well, this is conserve, journal, and dive. This one has 2 journal spots. I think that's the one. Oh, and it has dive too, but I think this is the one I've got to take. I've got to journal as much as possible. So I'll put that, I guess right here. I don't know that it really matters a whole lot. So the discovery bonus is 1 space on the inspiration track, 1 space on the ingenuity track, and a disc. I like to gain the disc. And then I need to put 4 dive tokens. I don't suspect I'll do much of any diving there. I've got better dive options, but at least there's some journal spots. So at depths 3 and below, I've got 1 journal action, and then there's a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th available. So I need to journal at all those spots and still get 2 more somewhere if I'm going to achieve this goal. So that's kind of a big ask. But we're on the field researcher, and we just did sonar, so now we can also journal, and I will journal here on this green spot, and I'll take this one here. And so that's going to cost me 1 research. I go down to 1. And the only benefit is I can promote a specialist. And so I'm going to promote this pilot back to a skipper and gain the coordination and the inspiration. And the inspiration now gains me 1 impact. And I'll put the impact here to gain 1 ingenuity. And that gains me an impact. So I'll put that impact here, and that's worth 2 points. I want to start working towards these blue journal spaces if I can. So this journal, I'll put it here because it has an action on it that would let me take a move action with 1 additional either depth or movement space. And the booklet says specifically, travel, but treat your technology level as if it were 1 higher, meaning your vessel can go 1 zone further and 1 depth deeper than usual. So I certainly won't be going down to depth 6, but I don't know if I can travel 6 spaces or if 5 is sort of the limit because I'm already at the top tier. I don't know that that really matters though. I don't see myself wanting to travel 6, but I'm just a little curious. If you've got a ruling on that, let me know in the comments. But now let's replace that journal. Oh boy, this one's not blue either. I'm not going to get that many blue symbols. Might be better off going for yellow symbols, just looking at what's available. If I'm trying to get 7 symbols, like I might still want that particular blue journal for the points, but symbol-wise, maybe yellow is the way to go at this point. Because I've got 2 here, there's a yellow spot there, there's a brown spot here, and that new journal up there in the very left is both brown and yellow, so I could grab that. And then gaining these 2 yellow spaces would be no more impact than gaining these 2 blue ones. So that might be the way I need to go if I'm going to even make an attempt. And I would still need 1 more yellow after that, but hey, we'll give it a shot. So next I'm going to activate this ROV operator who can move and dive. And I'm going to take the dive action first, and I'll do that here. So I gain 1 dive token, which also gains me 1 reputation. And let's see what's on the token. Either 3 research or 1 dive action. Well, that's fantastic. I'll spend it right away on another dive action. So I'm not going to get any less research than 3, but by diving again, I get another reputation. So I go up to the 4th tier, and now I've got either 3 research or a move action. And I better take the 3 research. 1, 2, 3. I could hold on to it, but I'm just going to use it now for the 3 research. That's fine. So I've got 4 research in total. And so that was the dive action. Now I can take a move action. And I'm going to move this vessel here to this zone here and gain a disc as the arrival bonus. There we go. And now I will activate my team leader to journal. And I will journal in this space right here, which is yellow. And I'm taking this one here, which costs 2 research. 1, 2. And my reputation track goes up 1, and then I can promote 1 specialist. And let's promote the field researcher. So no immediate bonus, but now they have the ability to move and journal as a single action. So we will put this card aside here. So that's 3 yellows. And now I need to replace the journal. And oh, another yellow. Okay, that's a good thing now. And now I'm going to the underwater photographer to take a dive action here at this deep water shark. So that gains me 1 reputation. Let's check the token. All right. Ooh, and this one's a tough choice. So I can either get 3 research or I can discard a disc to the supply to gain 5 research. And I think I am going to discard a disc and gain 5 research. So I go from 2 to 7. I'm going to need a lot of research here at the end. And now I will take, this move action on this card so I can move like super far. But all I'm going to do is move from here to here. And my arrival bonus is I gain a disc. And I did that, so I'm on a space where I've got enough sonar spots, but in theory I could sonar again to put another zone here and try and keep working down. I need to find a way to get to like a zone 4. So now I will activate this marine scientist who can move and journal as 1 action. So I'm going to move this vessel down to here and gain 1 coordination, and that gains me an impact. And I'll put that here to gain me a reputation, which then gains me another impact, and it gets me into the 5th tier. And I'll put that impact right here. So that's another 2 points. And so that was just the move action. Now I can take the journal action, and I'll journal here on this brown spot. And so that's going to be this one here, which is a little expensive. It costs 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 3 left, but it makes my orange track go up twice. My reputation track doesn't really matter too much. And I gain an impact, so let's put that here on this yellow journal space. That acts as one more yellow journal symbol. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow journal symbols. I need 7 for this goal here. Remember, that's separate from this goal of 7 disks on journal spaces at depths 3 through 5, of which I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. This one would be my 5th, and I still need 2 more. And then I get to promote 1 specialist. So finally, I'm going to promote this marine engineer to a naval architect who can now move or journal. I think those are both helpful actions for me to have. So let's put this one away. Just put this one up here. The action's taken. So 4 yellow symbols here, 1 here, that's 5. If I can get this other one, that'll be 6. And if I can get that journal, that'll be 7. So there's a path to 7. Let's replace that journal now. Oh, it's another yellow and green. Okay, a little more expensive than the other yellow green, so this one's probably the better way to go. And the only way to use this blue journal spot is still for this, which is not bad to have because it gives me 4 points, which is good towards this goal here. So things are not dire, but it's going to be tight getting into the last round here. I've got a sonar, a depth 3 to 5 zone that has at least 2 journal spaces on it, and I need to use them both. So I'd be in much better shape if I hadn't had that setback. So it's aptly named. So let's go into the last round. Let's reveal the last setback card. Don't mess me up. Government intervention. All players return 1 disc from a depth 1 or depth 2 zone of their choice to their supply. Well, I will make that work to my advantage. I'm going to choose this one because that lets me sonar at depth 4 or below. So now I need 1 more sonar disc, but that's a good one to have so that I can sonar here and hopefully get something useful, or potentially here too. I've got vessels. Either way. So now I can recruit a specialist, and I'm at tier 5. So I'm going to recruit this one, this robotics engineer. So the immediate bonus is 2 spaces on the inspiration track, and then their ability is copy the actions of one of your other specialists. So that's super handy. I really like that flexibility. And then if I promote them, this is kind of nice too. Their bonus is just 4 points. It's not like a certain scoring criteria that I'd have to try and work towards. It's just 4 points. And since my goal is 15 in total, that's nearly a third of the points that I need. So that could, just by itself, that could get me what I need. So it'll let me, concentrate on other things, I think. So now I'm in tier 5 for inspiration. So I gain 5 discs. There we go. Remember, these are only screened on one side. I'm turning them all face up for you. I'm turning them all face up for me. Who am I kidding? So now the coordination track is in tier 5, so I can recover 5 discs, and I've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, so I get them all back. So I have 9 discs at the start of this round. Boy, I don't know if that is going to be enough, but we're sure going to try. Boy, you know what? I am realizing now, when I moved out of this zone down to here on the last turn, this symbol is saying that if you've got a disc in any of those 3 places, when you move, you gain an impact. And I did not do that. What I did do is move down to here, gain the coordination, and gain an impact for moving into that spot. But I didn't gain that one. So this is not going to affect anything that's already happened, but I earned that impact. I'm going to take it, darn it. So I'm going to put it here, which gets me 1 space closer to the other yellow spot. And it does get me 1 more point. Technically, it gets me another green symbol, but that's not going to really help me. So to start off, I'm going to activate this ROV operator who can take a dive token. So let's take one of these. That advances my reputation track. So that goes back to here and gets me another impact marker. So I will put that here on this space, and that's another yellow symbol for me and another point. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points on this board already, plus an 8th from this journal. If I promote this specialist, that'll get me up to 12. If I grab that blue journal up there, that'll be another 4. So that'll be enough to achieve this goal. So I'm definitely on the path to achieve that goal. Now the dive token has either gain a disc or 3 research. Oof, I am going to hold on to this. I'm not ready to make that decision. So that was the dive action, and now I can take a move action as well. And so I'm going to move this vessel down to this zone, so I can hopefully do a sonar action down here. Now my arrival bonus is 1 more inspiration, so that resets back to here and gets me another impact. And I'll put that impact marker here, which gets me another inspiration, which I don't much care about one way or another, but I want to move towards this stuff down here because this is where you can start getting research and more discs, and that's those are things I'm really probably going to need in this last round. So who am I going to activate next? Oh, the sonar operator for sure. So let's put a disc there, and then one here, and let's sonar at depth 4. So we grab the 2 off the top of the stack. Neither of these has a journal anywhere on it. That might be the last nail in the coffin for that route. But I will take bioluminescent fauna over seamount. So this one goes back. And I'll put it here. So this one is good for diving actions, and I've pretty much tapped out this space here. So first let's take the arrival bonus. It's 2 inspiration, 1, 2, which gets me an impact marker, and then also an impact marker. So I've got 2 of those to play with. And I put 3 dive tokens on each of those spaces. And so each time I dive here, I get 1 research. And each time I dive here, I gain 1 disc. So those are both very helpful. And where I'm going to place these 2 impact markers? Well, certainly one of them is going to go here and just get me another inspiration. That's fine. And then the other one, I think I'm going to place here and gain another disc. Okay, so I'm looking good on this goal. This goal's good. I'll be okay here. I think I need to give up on this one. I'm not going to find enough journal spaces. It's not going to happen. I'll be okay on this goal. I can probably focus on scholarly and be all right. And I don't know that I'll get synergistic. But if I give up on this, I'll definitely get 1, 2, 3, 4. I hate to say definitely, but that's enough for a win. I can get probably as many as 6, but focusing on this one any longer is only going to hold me back, I think. So for my next action, let me see if I can spread things out, take actions on different tiles. Maybe I can get synergistic after all. I'm going to use this robotics engineer to copy the action of another specialist, and I'm going to copy the marine scientist so I can move and journal. So I'm going to move this vessel up to 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I gained the arrival bonus. I'm not going to do anything with that. But there we go. I've got an orca. So that was the move portion. And now I'm going to take the journal action. So I need to place a disc here. And I can do a green journal spot. And I'm going to take this one. So that costs 3 research. 1, 2, 3. So I'm out of research. Immediately I gain 1 coordination. And I can promote 1 specialist. And I will promote the robotics engineer. So now I've taken their action. Now they've been promoted. 4 points immediately. Now I can place this over here. I've got an action. I can take a dive action, and that one allows me to claim 2 dive tokens when I use it. So that's nice. Also, I've got now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's all 7 yellow symbols for this goal here. So that goal is done as well. So now let's replace that journal. Here we go. This one is brown only. And it costs 2. And so now I'll use the actual marine scientist instead of just copying their ability. So again, I can move and journal. So let's move this vessel here. 1, 2. The arrival bonus is 1 ingenuity, which now gets my ingenuity and coordination tracks up to 22 points. That's the goal I needed there. So that's movement, and then I can journal. And so there is a blue space there. In order to do that blue journal, I'm going to have to spend this dive token for 3 research. 1, 2, 3. So now I can place a disc here. Take that one, so that costs 2 research, back down to 1, and that is worth 4 points. So I've now got enough points for this goal too. So those 4 goals are achieved. So now I'm just working on scholarly and synergistic. So we replace, here we go, the journal. I don't know that I want to journal again. So I have discs now on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 zones. And then I've got 3 more vessels. So for this synergistic goal, I need a disc or a vessel on 11 zones. So if I can maneuver all of my vessels onto zones without discs, then I will achieve that goal. And in the process, if I can get up to 6 research left over, then I'll at least end with 6 goals, which would be pretty good. And I do have a couple move actions left. My team leader's still available. I've only got 3 discs though. I'm going to need more discs, I think. Yeah, I think this is doable. I'm going to put a disc here on the skipper so I can take a move action, again, up to 5 zones. So I'll use this vessel here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the arrival bonus is to gain a disc. So now I'll take a move action using the Naval Architect. So I'll move this vessel. 1, 2, 3. That gains me 1 ingenuity as an arrival bonus. And so then I'll take this journal action to dive and take an extra token. And so I'm going to take 2 dive tokens from here, and that's going to get me 2 more discs. So that's handy. And on these, there's a move action, advance your lowest track. I'm going to turn each of these in for 3 research. So I go from 1 to 7. Because again, this wasn't it wasn't like this tile where I pick 2, look at 2 and pick 1. This was take a dive action and gain 2 tokens. So 6 research right there got me up to 7. That'll be enough for the scholarly goal, and I think I've achieved synergistic as well. So these last discs are just for fun. So I'm not on any zones with journaling options, so let's use this underwater photographer to take a dive action, and I don't really need the discs, so I'm going to dive here, gain another research, and I can gain an impact or 3 research. So I think I'll trade this in for the impact marker, and I'll put that here to gain 2 points. And now, finally, I'll have my team leader take a sonar action just for the heck of it right here, and I can do zones 2 or 3. So I've got to do zone 2, so I don't have a place where I can put a 3. Sure, so sonar actions or underwater caves, do either of these do anything for me? Not really, they're the same, except this one has more setup because of all the dive tokens. So I'll take resupply modules and put it here. So let's put this back at the bottom. And so I gain 1 coordination and 1 ingenuity. And remember, I want these to add up to 22 or more. So if I take the ingenuity, I lose 2 points and gain an impact marker. But then the coordination gains a point. And so with the 10 and the 12, that'll still be 22 points. I'm safe for this goal, so let's place this impact marker. And we'll just go up here and get another 2 points. So I am officially out of actions. So the game is now over. Let's take a look at all of our goals and see how we did. So we'll start with synergistic and work our way backwards. Synergistic, we need to have this is zones with at least 1 disc or vessel of all players. And of course, this is a 1-player game. So let's count the zones with at least 1 disc or vessel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the 1-player requirement is 11, so that one is achieved. So we'll mark it. Next one is coordination and ingenuity need to be at least 22 points. Like I just said, my ingenuity is at 10, my coordination's at 12, so that is 22. So that one's achieved as well. Scholarly, I need at least 6 leftover research, and I am currently at 8. So that one is good. Dedicated researcher, 1 point per field symbol of your most owned type. And in co-op, each player, 7 or more for 1 player. So my most owned type is going to be yellow. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus 6, 7 for those 2 there. And I need 7. So that one is achieved. Goal number 2, journal the depths. Journal discs. Oh my goodness, I've been reading this wrong the whole time. I could have achieved it. If I had taken a different action on the last turn with my team leader, instead of sonaring if I had moved, I would not have achieved synergistic, but I could have achieved this because it says journal disc or vessel at depths 3, 4, or 5. So journal discs have 1, 2, 3, 4, and vessels 5, 6, and I need 7 in total. So I was either 1 journal or 1 vessel away. So if I had if I had realized that sooner, maybe I could have achieved that, but not this time. And as I said, if I had taken that last action differently, I could have achieved it with the vessel, but I would not have gotten synergistic because I would have had nothing in this zone. I would have been in 10 zones only. So it's one or the other. That's okay. Yeah, I should have looked at that a little more closely though. And then this goal here, survey the shallows per sonar disc at depths 1 or 2. And so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you need 7. So that one is achieved. And lastly, let's check our points here. We need at least 15. So on the impact board, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 points. For my journal cards, I've got 4 and 1, so that gets me to 17. And then for my tier 4 specialists, I've got another 4, so that gets me to 21. And for solo, the goal is 15. So 21 is greater than 15, so I achieved that one. So 6 goals out of 7, and boy, I was really close on that one. And I like to think I would have achieved if it wasn't for that setback card, because I lost 2 Depth 3 journal actions that I had already taken, and 2 journal spots that were empty that I would have loved to fill. But hey, who knows? Could have gone anyway. I don't know. So still pretty happy with it. I feel like I did pretty well for having not played the game for a few weeks. I thought I was going to be rustier than I was. It worked out pretty well for me, advancing this ingenuity track early. The other tracks did catch up eventually. I got everything easily into tier 5. I think most everything looped around except for coordination. So yeah, overall pretty pleased with how that went. And man, I have a great time every time I play this game. It's just really good. I think I'm going to be playing this for a long time. But I think that about covers it for this playthrough. So if you're still here and you have not done so yet, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you think you know somebody else who would enjoy this, go ahead and share the video. And if you like Endeavor Deep Sea and want to see more playthroughs or other content for this game, leave a like or leave a comment and let me know what you think. Or ideally do both, because that's how I know what types of things you enjoy, and that's what I'm going to film. You know, I'm gonna play it either way, but whether or not I'm going to film it is just subject to what do people want to watch. So it's up to you. Let me know. But that's it for this playthrough. I really, truly had an awesome time. I hope you enjoyed it too. There was some ups and downs, so that was a fun little journey. But I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching Table for One. Have an awesome week. Take it easy.